Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to The Sit Down. I'm DJ Sixsmith. Lindsay Ell is here with us, country music star, former class valedictorian as well.
Gosh.
Lindsay, it's great to have you. How are you?
Great to see you, DJ. I'm great. How are you?
I'm awesome. So let's talk about your career. Grew up in Canada, started playing a little guitar. Your dad influenced you. Why was music ultimately the road you wanted to choose?
It just felt so natural. You know, the minute I was playing a show, it felt instinctively what made me happy. Nothing else could kind of get to that level.
And it's interesting because you obviously are in country now, but classic rock was your baby growing up. So give me a couple different names of people you just love to listen to.
The Eagles were huge.
Hotel California?
Hotel California, Led Zeppelin we listened to a lot of, BTO.
Well, Stairway to Heaven was your first song,
Stairway
right?
to Heaven was the first song I ever learned on guitar. Very good. And then I ended up working with Randy Bachman from BTO and Guess Who when I was little. So my parents were almost like falling over when they heard that Randy was coming over to our house to have a writing session. But yeah, a lot of classic rock when I was younger.
So you've had some really cool moments. You've performed with Brad Paisley, Keith Urban later this summer and fall, Carrie Underwood. When you think about those moments, you know, what is the one that really tops the list for you?
Gosh, there's just so many amazing moments. I do have to say being on tour with Brad Paisley over the past year has just been amazing. You know, I knew Brad was such an incredible guitar player going into it, but getting to watch him every night from side stage and just see what he does, like he is truly one of the greats, and he's consistently perfect. And it's really frustrating as a player for me to watch that every night and be like, how are you that perfect every single night? But it's also inspiring as a musician to watch, like that's where he sets his bar, you know, and it makes me want to sit backstage and practice. Actually, I do. I watch the show and I like sit there and practice my guitar and be like, well, I have to be as good as that.
We got somebody to aspire to, which is cool.
That's true.
So when you think about your career, obviously it's really skyrocketed the last couple of years. How have you taken that jump? Because people get started, they're touring around the country, and then what makes your career tip as opposed to some of the others? Gosh,
that is a good question. I mean, they always say it takes 10,000 hours to become an overnight success, or 15, 16 years, and that's really how I feel. I mean, I've been living in Nashville for 8 years and was touring for 8 years before that, and so it just feels like right now is the right time. I feel like I finally know who I am and what I want to say and how I want to say it, and so I'm grateful that my path has sort of taken me a bunch of different ways because it's brought me to this moment, and I really feel like, you know, working with Christian Bush, my producer in the studio over the past year, I've really sort of answered that puzzle, you know. And you mentioned Christian. Obviously, he's been very influential for you. What's the biggest lesson you've taken away from working with him? Christian's just so authentic, and he really helps me to kind of push down all of those walls that we hit sometimes as artists, and we just get scared sometimes to be who we are. And it's funny, like you put a microphone in front of you and it's like, all right, well I have to be perfect, or I have to be this version of how I see myself or how we're supposed to see ourselves. And it's like, you know what, you just really should be who you are, because that's what's going to connect to fans the most. Right. And Christian has really helped me see that. We actually were touring in the UK a few weeks ago and played 3 shows together. We didn't make a set list. We were on stage. We just combined our sets. Wow. Instead of having separate sets. And we just, the whole thing, he called a song, I called a song. I had no idea what he was going to call. I would like figure out the song on guitar and play it. And it was the most inspiring 3 shows that I've played in a long time. Because I just felt like I could do anything. And you could make a mistake and it was fine. Or you could do something awesome and you didn't even know what would happen. And so in the middle of some of my songs, he'd start singing something completely random, and then I'd start singing something completely random. And it felt like magic. You know, it was such a special experience for the fans who got to see that. And we hope that maybe we can do it this summer, some pop-up after shows. Who knows? Pretty good. Who knows? So going off of that thought, you mentioned a new vulnerability about yourself, about your music. You have a new song, Criminal, which is kind of a love song, but then at the same time it's not. So just describe how that all came about. Absolutely. It's a love song from a darker place. Some of my favorite songwriters write songs from the 180 degrees of what you think you would hear them from. And so it's like when you fall in love with something so much that you feel it's stealing your heart away. We just shot the music video. It's about to come out in about a week, and I'm so excited for people to see it. I may or may not be in a prison. I may or may not have committed a crime. It again shows a darker side of me that I don't get to show all the time, and so we had a lot of fun shooting it. Well, that certainly should be interesting. And Lindsay, finally for you, when people look at your career, what can they learn from your personal story, from your music career, and for anybody aspiring to do what you do, what can they take from your experience? it's one of the coolest things that fans can come up and tell me that I've inspired them to start learning the guitar, or to write more songs, or to pursue their dream of doing music. I'm all about this whole girl power movement. I actually have hats and my merch table that say girl power on
That's
them.
awesome.
And I'm just all about women feeling strong and feeling like they can do whatever they set their minds to. And so a lot of my music is about that, and it's sort of my whole mantra.
That's awesome, and it's the perfect time for that, for sure, given everything going on. There you have
Amen.
it. That's Lindsay Ell, her new song, Criminal. You can check it out now. We'll see you next time on The Sit Down.